Have you ever stood up and felt like your legs weren't yours anymore? Like they hesitated before every move, that quiet wobble. The moment of doubt. It's not just age. It's your body sending a signal. I want to tell you about Mr. Harris, a 72-year-old retired coach who once sprinted across football fields. When I met him, he could barely make it from the porch to his mailbox. He thought it was just aging, but within 2 weeks of adding 3 specific vitamins, he was walking to the diner every morning. No walker, no pain. Just his own steady steps. You see, we've been conditioned to believe leg weakness is inevitable after 60, but it's not. It's a result of silent deficiencies, nutrients your body needs to keep muscles strong, joints mobile, and nerves sharp. And I'm not talking about medications or workouts. I'm talking about simple vitamins backed by research from Harvard, Tufts, and top geriatric centers. Seniors who use them properly report feeling stronger in just days, not months, days. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 3 most important vitamins for restoring leg strength after 60. Each one targets a different root cause, and together they rebuild what time has slowly taken away. So if you've been avoiding stairs, hesitating when you rise, or gripping the furniture more often than you'd like, stay with me. Because this isn't just about movement. It's about taking back control. Let's stop blaming age for something we can fix starting today. Here's something a lot of folks don't realize when you hit your 60s. Your body doesn't just age. It starts shifting in ways you might not even notice at first. You wake up one morning and realize it's a little harder to push yourself off the mattress. You reach for something on the counter, and your legs feel wobbly. You try to carry the laundry basket, and suddenly you need to catch your breath. These things creep in slowly, almost silently, and we chalk it up to just getting older. But what if I told you? There's a name for this quiet, creeping loss of strength. It's called sarcopenia, and it's more common than you think. Sarcopenia is the gradual loss of muscle mass and strength that begins as early as your 30s, but really kicks into high gear after 60. Scientists say we lose 1 to 3% of our muscle mass each year after that. Think about that over a decade. You could lose up to 30% of your leg strength without even knowing it. No wonder standing up feels like a chore. And the scary part, sarcopenia doesn't come with a warning label. There's no pain, no swelling, no dramatic sign. One day you're taking walks around the block, and the next, you're holding onto furniture just to stay balanced. It doesn't mean you're lazy or doing something wrong. It means your body's not getting the support it needs. Here's why this matters. Your legs are your foundation. They hold you up. They help you move. They keep you independent. When your legs weaken, everything gets harder: getting in and out of a car, stepping over the tub, carrying groceries. Even your confidence takes a hit. You start saying no to things you used to enjoy: travel, walks with friends, even playing with grandkids. Now, the good news is sarcopenia isn't a life sentence. It's not some irreversible fate. You can fight it. But it starts with knowing what's really going on. Because once you understand that it's not just getting old, that it's a biological process tied to muscle loss, you can take real steps to reverse it. And that's where nutrition comes in. That's where these 3 key vitamins make all the difference. So let's dive into how your body loses strength and how we can help bring it back naturally, safely, and without turning your life upside down. Let me give you a real example. One of my clients, Linda, was 68 and had always been active. She did light yoga, walked her dog every morning, and took pride in maintaining her independence. But over the course of just 1 year, she started noticing small things. She needed to grab the handrail when stepping off the bus, Her legs would feel shaky after cooking dinner. She blamed it on stress or not sleeping well. But when we measured her muscle mass, she had lost nearly 15% of what she had the year before. Linda's story isn't unusual. It's happening to millions of seniors every year, often without a single doctor catching it early. That's why awareness is everything. And that's why this video matters. Because we're not just talking about feeling tired, we're talking about the core of your mobility, your freedom, your ability to live on your own terms. When leg muscles shrink, the risk of falling doubles, and falls. They're the #1 cause of injury in adults over 65. But again, it doesn't have to go that way. With the right nutrients, targeted movement, and consistency, your body can regain strength. Your muscles can rebuild. It's not about getting back to where you were at 30. It's about being strong enough at 70 to do what matters most. So if any of this sounds familiar, stick with me, because up next, I'm going to show you the 3 simple vitamins that help reverse muscle loss, starting with the one most people are shockingly low in. Now let's talk about what's really behind that loss of leg strength. Because yes, sarcopenia plays a big role, but it doesn't act alone. There are 3 major reasons why your legs start feeling weak, shaky, or just not as reliable as they used to be. And once you understand them, you'll realize how fixable this actually is. The first culprit, a lack of key vitamins and nutrients. Over time, your digestive system becomes less efficient. That means your body stops absorbing nutrients the way it used to. Even if you're eating healthy foods, you might not be getting enough of what your muscles and nerves actually need. Vitamins like D3, B12, and certain bone-supporting minerals become harder to absorb, especially after 60. Without these, your muscles can't contract properly, your nerves can't fire as fast, and your bones don't get the signals they need to stay strong. The second reason, poor blood circulation. As we age, our blood vessels lose some of their elasticity. This makes it harder for oxygen and nutrients to reach your extremities, especially your legs. If your feet often feel cold or tingly, or your calves cramp up during short walks, that's not just inconvenience. That's your body telling you that circulation is slowing down. And when your muscles aren't getting fed properly, they start to weaken quietly but surely. And finally, let's talk about inactivity. You don't need to run marathons or lift weights every day, but staying still too often, whether it's sitting in a recliner, watching TV for hours, or avoiding long walks, sends a message to your body. We don't need these muscles anymore. And the body listens. It starts to break them down to conserve energy. Before long, stairs feel like a mountain, and even standing in the kitchen for 10 minutes is exhausting. What's powerful here is that each of these causes is something you can do something about. You can replenish lost nutrients. You can improve blood flow. You can bring gentle movement back into your day. You're not stuck. You're just missing a few pieces of the puzzle. So let's take the next step. I'll show you the first vitamin your body is probably starving for and how it can start changing everything. Let me give you a quick example. I once worked with a man named Ray who had been a truck driver his whole life. After retiring at 67, he spent most of his days sitting at home, not really moving much. Within 6 months, he started noticing his legs felt rubbery. He assumed it was just aging. But once we got him on a targeted vitamin plan and added just 15 minutes of movement a day, simple things like leg lifts, stretching, and short walks, his energy returned. His legs stopped trembling when he stood up. That's the power of knowing what's going on under the surface. Weakness doesn't happen overnight. And it's not about willpower. It's about biology. Your muscles need nutrients to grow and signals from your nerves to activate. Your circulation needs to be strong enough to deliver that nutrition where it's needed most. And your daily habits. They tell your body whether to build up or break down. So if you've been feeling unsteady, Or like your legs just don't have the same oomph they used to. It's not your imagination, and you're not alone. The good news, there's a path forward, and it starts with one essential vitamin that most seniors are shockingly low in. Let's get into it. Let's start with one of the most powerful and most overlooked nutrients for leg strength after 60, vitamin D3. If you've heard of it, you probably think of sunshine. And yes, vitamin D3 is often called the sunshine vitamin because your body makes it when your skin is exposed to sunlight. But here's the twist: most people over 60 aren't getting nearly enough. Even folks who live in sunny states like Florida or Arizona are showing up with deficiencies in their blood work. Why? Because as we age, our skin gets thinner and less efficient at converting sunlight into vitamin D. Add to that the fact that many seniors spend more time indoors, wear long sleeves, or use sunscreen, which is important for skin cancer prevention. But it also blocks D3 production, and suddenly, you're running on empty. Now, why does D3 matter so much for your legs? Well, vitamin D3 is like the switch that tells your body how to use calcium properly. Without it, your body can't absorb calcium from your diet, and calcium, as you know, is essential for keeping your bones strong. But here's what most people don't realize: vitamin D3 also supports your muscles. It helps them contract, it strengthens your posture, and it supports balance. That's why when D3 levels drop, many people start feeling weaker in their legs, less stable. One of the biggest studies on D3 and mobility came out of Tufts University. Researchers found that seniors with low vitamin D levels had nearly twice the risk of falling as those with adequate levels, and even mild deficiencies were linked to reduced walking speed, weaker leg performance, and slower reaction times. The connection is real and it's powerful. So how do you know if you're low in D3? Well, the signs can be sneaky. You might feel tired, even after a full night of sleep. You might have bone aches or muscle cramps. You might just feel off balance more often than you used to. Unfortunately, most of these signs get brushed off as normal aging, but they're not. They're signals from your body asking for help. The good news is that boosting your D3 is pretty simple. The most effective way, a high-quality D3 supplement, preferably D3, not D2, taken with a meal that includes healthy fat, like avocado, eggs, or olive oil. That fat helps your body absorb the vitamin more effectively. Most experts recommend 1,000 chan to 2,000 IU per day for seniors, but it's always wise to talk to your doctor and get your levels checked first. Too much D3 over time can cause problems, so finding the right balance is key. I once had a client named Betty. She was 74 and complained of constant leg fatigue. Her doctor tested her D3 levels, and she was far below the optimal range. Within just 10 days of supplementing combined with light morning walks, she said she felt a shift, more stable on her feet, less afraid of falling, more confident just moving around the house. And that's the kind of change that gives you your life back. Because when your legs are strong, everything gets easier. You feel safe, independent, and energized. So don't underestimate this one. Vitamin D3 isn't just for your bones, it's your body's silent strength coach, working behind the scenes to keep you upright and moving. Next up is a vitamin that hardly gets the attention it deserves, especially when it comes to leg strength and stability. I'm talking about vitamin B12. This little nutrient doesn't just support your energy levels, it plays a crucial role in how your nervous system functions. And when your nervous system starts misfiring, your legs are usually the first to let you know. Before we go deeper, let me ask you this. Are you currently taking any vitamins daily? If so, drop a comment below with D3 or B12 so I know where you are in your journey. I read every single one. So what exactly does B12 do? It helps produce red blood cells. supports brain function, and keeps your nerves healthy and firing at the right speed. Imagine your nerves like electrical wires. B12 is the insulation that keeps those wires functioning without short-circuiting. When you don't have enough, signals from your brain to your legs start getting fuzzy. That's when people start experiencing things like numbness, tingling, or that strange sensation of pins and needles in their feet. Now here's where it gets tricky. As we age, our stomach acid naturally declines. That might not sound like a big deal, but stomach acid is essential for absorbing B12 from food. So even if you're eating enough meat, eggs, or dairy, which are natural sources of B12, you might not actually be absorbing enough of it. And if you're taking acid blockers or antacids, that makes it even harder. B12 deficiency is way more common in people over 60 than most folks realize. One study found that up to 20% of adults over 60 have borderline or low B12 levels, and many of them don't even know it. That's because the symptoms can be subtle at first. A little forgetfulness here, a little clumsiness there. But over time, it builds. Weakness in the legs, loss of balance, brain fog, fatigue. It all starts to connect. I remember a gentleman named Charles, 70 years old. He used to play golf twice a week. One day, he mentioned he was having trouble keeping his stance steady and felt like he was dragging his right foot. We got his B12 levels tested, and sure enough, they were low. After just a couple of weeks of B12 supplementation, his balance improved, and he said he felt like his legs were talking to his brain again. That's what B12 does. It restores the line of communication between your nervous system and your muscles. If that line breaks down, your legs can't respond properly, no matter how strong your bones are. That's why even mild B12 deficiency can lead to serious issues like falls, slow reflexes, and difficulty walking. The best way to get B12 sublingual tablets that dissolve under the tongue, or B12 sprays, these bypass the gut and absorb directly into the bloodstream. Some doctors may recommend injections if levels are severely low. A general dose for maintenance is around 500 to 1,000 mcg daily. But again, it's best to get tested first. And remember, B12 is water-soluble, meaning your body will flush out what it doesn't need, so it's generally safe. But targeted dosing is always smarter than guessing. When your nerves are healthy, your legs respond quicker, your balance improves, and your entire body moves with more confidence. So if your legs feel a little sluggish, don't just stretch, check your B12. It might be the missing spark you've been waiting for. Another thing worth noting, some early signs of B12 deficiency are often brushed off or misdiagnosed. Things like irritability, mild depression, or memory slips can sneak in quietly. But they all tie back to your nervous system struggling to function without enough fuel. In fact, some neurologists now check B12 levels first when older patients report cognitive changes or gait problems. And don't forget the emotional toll. When you don't feel steady on your feet, you naturally start limiting yourself. You stop going on walks, skip the family picnic, hesitate to join a group trip. Not because you don't want to, but because your body feels unreliable. That loss of freedom hits hard. But with proper B12 support, many seniors regain that trust in their body. They feel sharper, steadier, and more willing to re-engage with life. So if you or someone you love has been slowing down, or if something just feels off with coordination or energy, don't ignore it. Get those B12 levels checked. It could be the key to unlocking a stronger, more stable version of yourself starting today. Now let's move to the third piece of the puzzle, what I like to call the structural support system for your body, bone and joint health. This isn't just about avoiding fractures or worrying about osteoporosis. This is about how your body feels every time you stand up. take a step, or carry a bag of groceries. If your bones aren't strong and your joints aren't supported, your legs are going to struggle no matter how much you stretch or walk. So what helps? There's a group of nutrients I like to call the bone team. At the core, you've got calcium, magnesium, vitamin K2, and collagen, and they each play a specific role. Calcium, of course, helps build and maintain bone density. Magnesium supports muscle relaxation and nerve signaling. Vitamin K2 ensures calcium gets deposited in your bones, not your arteries. And collagen, it's the glue. It holds your joints, tendons, and ligaments together, giving your knees and hips that smooth, cushioned. What's important to understand is that bone density naturally starts declining around age 30. But after 60, the rate speeds up. And if your diet is low in these key nutrients, or worse, if you've had years of soda, processed foods, or smoking, it adds up. Your joints can become stiff, inflamed, and painful. Your spine might feel compressed. Even simple actions like getting into a car or bending to tie your shoe start to feel like a chore. I remember one woman named Denise. She was 66 and told me she used to garden for hours but had to stop because her knees felt like sandpaper rubbing against each other. When we added a daily bone support blend with collagen, calcium citrate, and K2, she noticed less grinding, more comfort, and most importantly, confidence to get back outside. That kind of turnaround doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen consistently when you give your bones what they need. Now, not all calcium supplements are created equal. Calcium carbonate, the cheap version, can cause bloating and is poorly absorbed. Instead, look for calcium citrate. It's gentler on the stomach and better for seniors. And always take calcium with D3 and K2 for proper absorption. Collagen, especially type 2 for joint support, can be found in powder or capsule form. Just mix it into a smoothie or coffee, easy and effective. The bottom line is this: your bones aren't just passive support beams. They're active, living tissue that needs nourishment every single day. And your joints, they're the hinges of movement. When they're stiff or inflamed, your world shrinks. But with the right nutrients, your steps can feel smoother, your balance more secure, and your energy stronger. So don't wait for a crack or a fall to take this seriously. Start now. Give your bones and joints the backup they've been begging for. It's also worth mentioning how closely our emotional state is tied to physical pain. I've worked with many older adults who quietly suffered joint pain for years, not just because of wear and tear, but because they assumed nothing could be done. That mindset becomes a trap. It limits not just your mobility, but your hope. But the moment someone starts feeling even a little relief, maybe from the first week of collagen or magnesium, they light up. They want to walk farther, stand taller, and do more of what? Movement becomes joy again, not struggle. That's what strong bones and supported joints give you: freedom. The freedom to play with your grandkids, to take that vacation you put off, to garden without fear of hurting the next day. These are small wins that add up to a much bigger life. So think of bone support not as a luxury or afterthought, but as your foundation. Without it, every step becomes harder. With it, the world opens back up. Before we wrap things up, let's talk about something just as important as the vitamins themselves: how people take them. Because believe it or not, one of the biggest reasons supplements don't work is simply because they're used the wrong way. And I see this mistake all the time. The first common issue: taking everything at once. Some folks line up 5, 6, even 10 supplements in the morning and gulp them down with coffee. The problem: certain vitamins compete with each other for absorption. For instance, calcium and magnesium taken together can cancel each other out. And caffeine can interfere with how well your body absorbs B12, so that whole routine might be doing less than you think. Another mistake. Taking D3 late at night. Since vitamin D can act a bit like a stimulant, taking it before bed can actually mess with your sleep quality. That's why it's often better to take D3 in the morning, preferably with a meal that has some healthy fat because fat helps with absorption. Then there's the quality issue. Not all supplements are created equal. A lot of cheap, over-the-counter vitamins use synthetic fillers or low-quality ingredients that your body can barely absorb. Just because it's on sale or has a fancy label doesn't mean it's effective. Look for trusted brands, preferably ones that are third-party tested, and when possible, go for methylated forms of B vitamins. They're easier for the body to use, especially as we age. Lastly, skipping consistency. Some people try a supplement for 3 days and expect miracles, but rebuilding strength, especially in your legs and joints, takes time. It's like watering a plant. You don't see results overnight, but give it a few weeks, and suddenly things begin to change. If you've been using vitamins but haven't seen a difference, don't give up just yet. You might just need a smarter approach, better timing, cleaner ingredients, or simply a little more patience. Your body wants to heal. It just needs the right tools, used the right way. And here's one more thing people don't always consider: your body changes over time. What worked for you 10 years ago might not work now. Hormones shift, digestion slows, and even your daily routine might look completely different. So if you're still taking the same multivitamin from a decade ago, it might be time for an upgrade. Also, talk to your doctor or pharmacist, especially if you're on prescription meds. Some supplements can interact with medications in ways that reduce effectiveness or even cause side effects. For example, taking magnesium too close to thyroid medication can interfere with absorption. Being informed makes all the difference. At the end of the day, supplements should serve you, not confuse or overwhelm you. When taken properly, they become quiet allies, helping you feel stronger, steadier, and more in control of your health. But like any tool, they work best when used correctly and consistently. So if you're committing to rebuilding your leg strength, don't just grab random pills and hope for the best. Create a smart, simple routine that fits your life. Small changes in timing, quality, and awareness can lead to big improvements over time. So let's bring it all together. If your legs have felt weaker lately, if you've been avoiding stairs or holding onto walls a little more than you used to, it's not just age, it's your body asking for support. And now you know what to do. You've learned about 3 key vitamins that work like a team: D3, B12, and bone-supporting nutrients like calcium, K2 magnesium, and collagen. D3 helps your body absorb calcium and keep your muscles active. B12 keeps your nerves sharp and your brain communicating clearly with your legs, and bone nutrients strengthen your structure, ease joint pain, and help you feel solid and steady again. But knowledge only works if you take action. Start simple. Begin your day with your D3 and calcium taken with a meal. Use a sublingual B12 in the morning for better focus and balance. Mix collagen into your smoothie or coffee. Track how you feel, not just physically, but emotionally too. Because strength brings back more than movement. It brings back confidence. It brings back joy. I've seen people in their 60s, 70s, even 80s regain the ability to walk longer distances, to garden again, to play with their grandkids without fear of falling. And not because they joined a gym or hired a personal trainer, but because they gave their body the nutrients it had been missing for decades. So let today be the start. Don't wait for a bad fall or a scary diagnosis. Take your next step literally. Strength lives in every cell of your body, just waiting to be awakened. And if this video helped you, share it with someone you care about. Someone who might be quietly struggling but doesn't know where to begin. You never know how much one small change can do for your legs, your life, and your future. And here's a powerful reminder. Your body is always trying to heal. Even if you've been feeling stiff, slow, or off balance for years, change is still possible. It doesn't matter how long it's been. It matters that you're choosing to respond now. One man I worked with, Robert, was 79 when he finally started a simple daily routine with these 3 vitamins. Within a month, he told me he felt lighter on his feet and more mentally clear than he had in years. He didn't need big surgeries or extreme therapies, just consistency, patience, and the right tools. That's what this is about. Taking back your power. Knowing that even small steps like choosing when you take your D3 or switching to a better B12 can add up to big results. You don't have to do everything at once, but you do have to start. So take a deep breath, roll your shoulders back, and tell yourself, out loud if you need to, that this is your time to feel strong again. You've earned it. Your future deserves it.